If you've owned a brass instrument for long enough, eventually the slides are going to wear down to a point where they're going to be so loose that they can either fall out on their own or you can blow them out in like loud passages or anything like that. And that obviously is a problem. Now, for the most part, you can get that fixed. You can take that to a shop and they can handle that, unless the instrument's really, really old. But what do you do when you're in a situation where you can't give up your instrument for a small amount of time? A couple of weeks ago, I was in just that situation. I had been preparing for a lot of things, been using my horn a lot, and the second valve slide started to slip out on its own in louder passages, but the North American Brass Band Championships were right around the corner, and I could not get rid of my instrument for any number of days to give it to a shop to repair it. So I started looking for a solution, and I thought, okay, well, let's grab a really tacky, thick slide grease, and let's see if that helps. I know a lot of times that's used to help with older instruments where you can't repair that anymore because you're afraid of it getting cracked. So that's why I grabbed a handful of Hetman products, one of which being the Hetman 7.5. Now, in a second, I'm going to be throwing this to past me for the unboxing and everything. And outside of being very shocked that there was a syringe, I didn't quite know what to expect. I hadn't done a whole lot of research on this. I was just looking to fix a problem. And now that I've had a couple weeks with this, my impressions have adjusted a little bit. But the TLDR is, well, my second valve slide still moves. Now, the type of slide grease that I normally use is just this red Vincent box stuff, and mostly it's out of convenience. It's a pretty thick, standard grease, but because of the applicator, it's just pretty easy to put on if I need to in a pinch really fast. Doesn't cause a lot of mess, all that sort of a thing. And then for something slightly thinner, I've also got the 6, which also has the same type of applicator. It's not in a tub or anything like that. And I use this for my main tuning slide because I have the whammy bar. And those normally work fine. I've also got the cheaper Schiller just in case for a student if they need anything. But because my second valve slide's been falling off, I got something a little bit thicker, and I got the grease number 8 from Hetman. And that worked for a little bit, but the second valve slide was still going, especially if longer sessions of just louder playing, it started falling out and all that sort of thing. I was not expecting to actually open this up. But the 7.5 came in. I don't understand why the 7.5 should be thicker or tackier than the 8, but this thing comes with a syringe, apparently. So it's my impression that this is going to be way more intense than any of the slide greases I just showed you. And because we leave for NABA actually tomorrow as of filming this, now's the time to apply it. So I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put it on, and we'll go with that. Crack this open and see what we're dealing with. Sure enough, it is a syringe. Not at all what you'd ever expect coming from slide grease. But yeah, sure enough, it is a syringe. Now, it says single use only. I think that on the syringe, that means for the syringe, not so you're not supposed to refill the syringe and put more into it. Not that you're supposed to use all of that for just one application. That's a little enough. So we're gonna apply this because I haven't. I need to put it on. So we're gonna apply this now. All right. So this is my second valve slide in question. I've already gone ahead and wiped it down. There's nothing on it, or there shouldn't be anything on it at least. And let's just see how that goes. So the tip is flat, and it says to use a small amount. I'm not this kind of doctor, so I don't know how to really operate a syringe. The best I've ever done is giving pets medication. Okay, this is requiring a lot of effort, but it is coming out. All right, so we have gotten just a little bit out there, but it does like you're pushing down. It does require a little bit of effort. All right, let's keep it going. Just put it on both sides. It does say apply lightly, and I'm also afraid to get it on myself. All right, now we're gonna lift up on the syringe so it doesn't. Yeah. Oh, good. All right, so that was interesting. So it happened so quick I couldn't see it, but there was a little bit coming out of the tip here, and when I just went and just pushed backwards here on this, just went backwards on the applicator, I saw the little bit of extra start to go back in. So that's good, you know, because like I don't know if you ever had like super glue or something like that did like would start oozing out or whatever, but so we don't have that problem here. So I only have like those 2 strips that you saw. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to wiggle it up in here. I'm trying my best to not touch it as much as I can, because I know it's gonna be. I've had stuff like this. It's been really tacky. I'm hoping. Okay, it's actually not as intense as you might think, but it definitely is thicker than you'd think. All right, yeah, I mean, it's on there, and it definitely feels more tight than any of the other options that I was talking about earlier. So I'm going to give this a go this weekend, and I will report back after weekend of the North American Brass Band Championships, and if I can make a slide pop out in any situation, it's gonna be in a brass band competition. So yeah, I'll be back. Okay, so it's about a month after that, and I have some thoughts. Primary is that it did not fix my slide falling out problem permanently. Now, this 7.5 is the replacement for the now discontinued Hetman number 9. This is less thick than the 8, which I also grabbed to try to fix this problem, but is way tackier and is meant for keeping slides in place. It's supposed to, as described by them, have a firm feeling slide pull action, and it isn't supposed to bunch up on the slide in any capacity. It's supposed to kind of stay thick inside of there. Now, I got this because I had tried the 9 before. I actually got the tub of it, and it did work as advertised. It wasn't a tub, so putting it onto the slide, I would require a lot of muscle to take off, for one, but also I felt like I could still feel the grease on my hands about a month afterwards, which packaging this now in the syringe, phenomenal idea. And really, the 9 was meant for old instruments where you couldn't expand the slides anymore because you were afraid of it cracking the slide. So this was their solution for that, and this was supposed to replace that. And I would say the 7.5 here has lived up to some of those expectations while kind of letting me down in some other places. And also, I've found uses for this in unexpected places. First off, yeah, the syringe is just weird, and I think traveling with it would be awkward. Like I can't imagine putting this safely inside of my gig bag without something weird happening. But it has been my favorite way now to put on the slide grease. It's way less messy than even the nipple points, but obviously way less messy than the tub. It's very accurate in terms of if you want to get into a small point, inside the second valve slide or something like that, it can help you get and reach those little places. But yeah, it is awkward. I also do feel it would be easy to break, especially the tip when you take this off. It's just a little metal tip. I feel like that would be pretty easy to bend or break and kind of mess up the whole thing. Now, the grease does hold firm for about a day or so. It actually did fix the slide falling out problem right when I apply it. And then throughout the day, it starts to become a little bit more of a problem. The tackiness of the grease starts to wear down over time. However, that wearing down is mostly because the second valve slide is probably my most active slide. It's the one I'm opening and dumping out the most frequent. And I've actually found a new home for this stuff. I actually really like using this with my tuba slides, my fourth and my main slide, which kind of sit on the bottom, those have been great there because it does keep those slides in place, and those slides don't have to move that much. I just move them about that far out at the beginning of every session and then back in when I'm done. So if you do have a slide that doesn't need to go anywhere, this stuff is perfect for that situation. You could probably apply it once and be good for a while. Now, it didn't permanently fix my problem. It's not going to fix the slide falling out for you, but it can get you through those times where you can't quite get rid of your horn, you can't give it away for a couple of days. This is going to provide that little bit of a solution for the time being to help you get through those periods. So if you're looking for something for this to fix the situation that I did, I do think it is handy to have it around. And I do think that for this situation, the 7.5 is the way to go, not the 8. The 8 is definitely just a thicker grease, so it'll pull a little bit thicker, but it definitely doesn't hold on in the same way, and that's really hard to describe in this situation, like video, but I promise you the 7.5 is tackier for sure, just not thicker. Now, I'll leave an affiliate link for everything that I talked about in this video or showed off in the unboxing portion of this. Everything's an affiliate except for this one you have to get from a music shop that I don't have an affiliate with. I'll leave a link for it, but it just won't be an affiliate link. If you grab something from the affiliate link, it helps the channel out just a little bit with no cost to you, so consider it. It's helpful. Now, depending on where you get this, it'll cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of like about $10, which is a little bit pricey for slide grease, but we have to remember Hetman kind of treats themselves like the premium instrument lubricant brand. So we just kind of have to deal with that a little bit. But also it will last you. I haven't used a lot of this in about the month that I've had it. And you might think like this is a lot of thought process for a slide lubricant. But the longer I've been in this business, the more I realize that it's not like our band directors told us in 6th grade where it's like, yeah, you have a valve oil and slide grease and that's all you need. I feel like every one of my slides now has a slide grease that it is its favorite. That's not all of it, but it's definitely more than I should have for my handful of brass instruments. So my final thoughts on the 7.5 in particular is it has its use cases. You're not going to want to put it on something like me on my euphonium main tuning slide where I have the whammy bar and I need to move it on a regular basis, or my tuba where I'm moving those slides up and down. You're not going to want it there. But if you want something that you can just kind of put it on there and kind of forget about it for a long period of time, or you need something that's a little bit thicker and tackier to give you a good pull, that's going to work out really well with this. And also, it'll work for you the same way it worked for me. If you need something to get you by until you can get your horn to a shop, it's not the worst thing to have on hand when stuff like that starts to happen. But yeah, what do you think? I mean, do you know of any brands that are tackier or thicker or something that you think could be a permanent solution to that for me? Let me know in the comments down below. If you made it this far in the video and you liked the video or you found it helpful, please hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'm done with school, so I should be able to upload a little bit more regularly than I have in the past 3 years. Well, with that, I'm Aaron, reminding you, be happy, never satisfied. I'll see you next time.